Live from the Talking Joe studios.
It's Talking Joe with Chief and Ben. Hey, it's me, the Chief. I'm joined by my buddy.
Hey guys, it's Ben. It's Talking Joe time.
Talking Joe. How you doing?
I'm not bad, buddy. It's blue sky, the birds are tweeting. It's a nice day. But it's just a lovely bit of weather, isn't it? Spring has sprung, as annoying people say. What's the weather doing up your end?
Cold this morning.
It's fresh, isn't it, though?
Yeah, I got a few days off because I needed to use up some holiday before the end of the financial year. So I've just taken 4 days off this week. So
how come you haven't taken that?
Just
you don't seem like a guy that would let holiday time build up.
Didn't have anything to do.
Oh, there's always something to do.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, but I mean, we only, as a family, we only had one holiday last year. Well, we had 2 holidays. We went to Center Parcs in May last year for 5 days, and we went to Littlehampton by the seaside for 2 days. That was it. That was the only holidays we had as a family.
Well, you strike me as the kind of guy that doesn't take big chunks of time off. You're
Correct.
more of a scattergun guy.
You nailed it.
I
boom,
know
boom,
you
boom.
so well.
Yes.
You take a day here for the person that employs you. It's a nightmare.
Oh, absolute carnage. Absolute
Chief's
carnage.
taking another 4-day week.
Yeah. Basically, I had a run of about 4 months where I was on 4-day weeks. I just took a random day every here and there.
Yeah.
And
did you not have to give much notice for your holiday?
No, luckily
days?
my boss is a good one, and I can do short notice as long as there's if there's something that needs doing, as long as I can assign that to someone else, or as long as I can fill him in on what it is, then he's fine with that. So when he leaves, I fear the worst because my missus has to put hers in 3 months in advance.
NHS.
Yes.
You kind of have always struck me as the kind of guy that's always on the lookout for utterly different career paths. Are you still feeling like that? Are you still looking, or
Yes.
are you very much settled?
No, that I am still looking. I inquired about an internal vacancy in the product innovation team last week. Now, to me, that just sounds like coming up with cool ideas and shit.
Well, yeah, innovation.
So that seemed more along my path, my passion for I'm in the gambling betting industry, but that seemed more akin to what interests me about it than what I'm currently doing. Unfortunately, it was a role that I potentially didn't have any direct experience in, and they need someone to hit the ground running. So unfortunately that didn't come to anything. But I'm actually was considering the other week about maybe changing industries or doing something different.
Well, when's Talking Joe going to start making some cash money?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I thought it would be
never
raining down in the Benjamins.
No.
But no.
Quick few things I've got coming up. So after this, I'm going to pop into Croydon to go to Ludacris, which is a board game cafe. So I want to check it out.
Be careful you don't get stabbed.
Yes,
or get something nicked.
Yes, so that's the second
Croydon's a war zone.
So I've got to go there because there's a couple of board games I want to check out before purchasing, and there's games that have been on Kickstarter, and if you didn't get involved in the Kickstart, then they're very hard or expensive to get hold of. So I want to go and have a look at them first, and then see if I can pre-order them, or they might even have some for sale, etc. Then I've got to pop over to JD Sport to get a helmet for my bike, which I still haven't done. I've got to pop into IKEA to get a few little saucers.
How do you know, man? You can't pop into IKEA.
Yeah, I can, because I
That's
go in. I only got one thing I need to get, and that is little saucers. Tea, cup, and saucer things. Because
you still got to go around that road that
we use those for indoor sunflower and tomato plants to put the little pots on, which my missus was not happy about. So I go in the back entrance.
I was going to say it's such a big shop,
and I know exactly where they are. Boom, in, out.
Then you don't leave with a plush or anything, any of that stuff at the end. They try and sell you.
I might pop into the little just before the exit. There's the little shop area. I might get some. They do some nice crackers.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't believe you wouldn't
crackers.
Leave without eating the. What does everyone have there? The
dime
meatballs,
bars,
isn't it?
Oh yeah, I won't go to the restaurant. I'll go to the little shop.
Okay.
They got a little, convenience store.
Oh, I hate dime bars.
Do you?
Oh, God.
Too crunchy.
No, just not for me, man.
Okay.
Not at all.
And then after that, I'm going to come back here to the Castle Chief. We're going to sort out a bit of loft activity here. So I've got a new setup. I decided to get rid of the Lego. Not into that anymore. So I'm going to down tools Lego, package, unbuild it effectively, package it all up, might sell some, and going more for your line, bit of retro gaming action. So I bought a new bookcase yesterday from Argos. But we're not bookcase, it's basically a DVD holder. So it's going to hold all my Wii, my Wii U, my Xbox, my GameCube, etc. And I've got another section for the other retro games. I've just put another TV up. I'm trying to work out how to get sound out my monitor for my PS3, which I can't work out how to do.
How many TV, is everything going to be hooked up?
Well, no, I've got 2 TVs and a monitor. So
but everything will be sort of out
easy
and ready
access.
just to switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything will be out and ready to switch. So I'm just working out.
Do you know what you need, dude? That's handy is on like the Mega Drive and the SNES, they had those
little switch flicker
switches.
Things. Yep.
Well, that means you can have at least 2 things synced up at once, which is pretty good.
Yep. So no, I think it's going to be good. So I'll do a bit of that today. I've got to watch some movies. Yesterday I watched Aquaman and Venom.
Oh, so what did you think of Aquaman? Because I feel like that was
absolute turkey.
I thought you'd like that.
No, absolute junk. I'm going to watch later on today. I forgot to tell. I'm going to watch Justice League again because I thought Justice League. I quite liked it the first time I saw it at cinema.
Oh man!
And I know it's considered junk, but on first views of both of them, I think Justice League's miles better than Aquaman.
Well, I mean, Aquaman didn't do well with critics. It's just the Joe public liked it and turned out for it, which was surprising because it just looked like an absolute CG mess.
And Venom is a comedy. Am I right?
I haven't seen it.
I don't know. Tom Hardy.
I haven't seen it.
I think he was just taking a piss there.
Yeah, again, critics dumped on it.
Right.
And but again, everyone went and saw it. Made a load of money. It's meant to be awful. It's borderline unwatchable.
It's not ideal.
It doesn't even nothing happens for a first hour. I read. Venom doesn't really get involved.
That's the case. And Aquaman is just boring, just really boring. But
so Venom. So it's funny though. So these films are going to get sequels. Like Venom is going to get a sequel with Carnage in it. I think. Is there a stinger at the end with Woody Harrelson as Carnage?
Didn't even get as far as the stinger. Okay.
Oof, didn't even get as far as the end.
No. Well, I did.
So, because comic book fans, I thought had responded well to Aquaman just because of the world building they did with where he's from, but you weren't obviously feeling it.
It's just it's really, really cheesy and hokey how they shoehorn in bits of the comic. Just silly bits of the. I mean, and
what about him?
Comics? What you got to think is comics are stupid. In terms of the unbelievable nature of what generally happens, especially in superhero ones. But
that's what I thought they embraced in this.
The medium is kind of like, I don't know, when I'm reading a comic of superhero comic, if I step back and think, oh my God, that is absolute stupid. But when I'm in it, I don't know, it kind of feels okay. But with a movie, because it's so big and brash and in your face, the stupidity of it is just right there in front of me.
I think it depends. You have to set up the rules in the world that you're. So I only have problems with that when, say, for example, in the Nolan universe, they've set the rules so you know where you stand. It's realistic. So there's certain things that can't happen in that universe, but I don't know. In other, I don't have a problem taking the leap of faith most of the time.
Yeah.
With Aquaman, I just read that they went balls to the wall. It just bonkers. Apparently,
I don't know where that comes from. That bonkers. I don't think it was bonkers.
Just because I think the look and the design.
Yeah, just people riding fish in the water. I don't know. Is that if that's bonkers? Then
I think
it's
that's what people thought. I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think of him though? I mean, do you think he's got any actual acting chops?
No acting, no charisma, nothing.
No, that's what I think.
Just loads of slow-mos of him kind of jumping to the floor on bended knee and then slowly rising his head up. Every character seems to do that, and I see the advanced reviews of Shazam are pretty good. Rotten Tomatoes like 92% or something.
Yeah, people like that. People like it.
Not for me.
People were indifferent about Captain Marvel, but it seems to have done very well. I guess we've got. Is it that time?
Well,
I feel like we've just been in your mind, but
no. But just before we do jump into that, I did mention last week that I have started Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah,
again,
and
I
fell off the wagon a bit.
Yeah. So there's a little section I like to call "Sticks and Stones are breaking my bones." Like Al Capone, I'm busting heads. Afternoon tea with jam and scones. Chief has got a question about Game of Thrones.
Holy smoke!
So
that was a rap.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah. So I've got a question. Well, actually, it's 2 questions about Game of Thrones.
By the way, can I just? I'm not by any means I don't know anything more than. I mean, I'm kind of passive. Like I've watched it, but I don't go deep. So let's see if I can.
When that Mad King dude was killed by Jaime Lannister.
Yes.
The Lannisters, the Starks, and the Baratheons had all teamed up, as one supergroup to oust the king. Is that right?
Yep. Possibly. It does get explained in fully as the seasons progress, and basically what he was about to do was burn. He was going to burn King's Landing, wasn't he?
What, the Mad King?
The Mad King was trapped. He was going to light all the wildfire and just burn everyone.
The main question was, how did they decide that Robert was the one who was going to usurp him as the new king? Or is that not relevant?
Well, I feel like Jaime was acting alone, so I don't feel. I think he killed him, and he was just next in line.
What? No, but he's a Baratheon, so surely the next in line would be a Targaryen. But obviously, it's a revolt, isn't it? So they're putting their own man on the throne. So I guess they just decided that Robert was the best to lead them all.
Yeah, possibly.
The second question is, at the end of season 1, I've just started. I'm like a few episodes into season 2. The end of season 1, Daenerys. Yeah. Does that pyre, burns the witch woman, whatever, puts the dragon eggs in the pyre, goes in. How come she doesn't burn to death?
Oh, I don't know. She's just the mother of dragons. So I think, isn't it something like a true Targaryen? They don't...
Just don't understand the science behind it.
Well, fuck, science. There's no science. You want to ditch science class when you're in Westeros.
Okay. Is there magic in Game of Thrones?
Is there magic? Yeah, man.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Well... I mean,
I don't know. There's dragons, but I don't know. Is there actual magic?
What's going on with what's his name and the witch and the fire, and she's giving birth to weird clouds that kill things and.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's mental. There's loads of magic.
Right.
It's just funny, isn't it? Yeah. It's like the commoners. They don't talk about. There definitely is. As a viewer, you understand that there is magic, but lots of the characters don't even believe in dragons and things.
Right.
Because that's funny you should say that, because I remember watching season 1 and Emma was like, wow, I wonder if they're going to have dragons. And I was like, you'll never see dragons in this show because they would be CG and too expensive.
And at this point, you hadn't read the books to know.
No, I didn't know anything.
Dragons. Right. Okay.
And then,
you came to it lastly on this. You came to it late, didn't you? You weren't on board as season 1, episode 1.
No, I actually was. I was.
Oh, you were.
Yeah, I was. But we struggled to get through episode 1, and then it had such an interesting ending. I was like, okay, and then kind of got hooked.
Okay,
but I fell off the wagon a bit.
You were ahead of schedule.
I think I'm behind.
What?
I didn't do any Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I got back. I started last night, so I'm halfway through season 4.
Okay,
I should be all right, but I've got to get my game face on.
Yeah.
Inside Cheese
I'll tell you what I hate is people who have their phones out and they're texting, or now a lot more commonly watching a movie or a TV show on their phone while talking, especially at train stations.
How are they doing? Talking to who?
No, not watching. They've got their phone out.
Yep.
And they're texting or they're watching while they're walking. Did I say talking? While they're walking.
Oh, right, yeah, you did say talking.
Jeepers, I am lost inside. I'm a busy man. I've got a lot on my mind. So while they're walking, and they're just not looking where they're going.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
So I make a point to walk into them. If I'm coming the other direction, I see it, I spot it.
Right,
I walk into them, and then I go, watch what you're doing.
And they go, that is so mean.
And they go, oh, sorry. I give them a mean face. And I purposefully routed myself into them.
Chief, that's bad form.
Is it?
I like that. You're going out of your way to spread.
Yeah.
I mean, you really barge into them.
Well, give them
I'm bad for that. I think I'm probably bad for that, but I'm not watching stuff.
Right.
That's crikey. Watching stuff whilst walking.
Yeah.
How the heck do you know what they're doing? Aren't they probably just texting?
No, because I can see. He's holding.
You're
it out
right
in
up
front
in
of
their
him.
grill, by
Oh,
the
yeah.
sounds of it.
Yeah.
Watch where you're going.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough, buddy.
Right.
Should we do
Moving
the
on.
G.I. Joe comics?
Now we got G.I. Joe stuff.
Okay, let's do it. Right, what are we doing? We've got a nice little arc here, haven't we?
So this one we got 54, 55, 56 and Yearbook 3. Right, so in these issues we've got the from the previous issue 53 Pitfall, we saw the pit basically in the space of one issue get blown up and the Joes got reinstated as a nomadic unit.
Yes.
So in this kind of arc, the main thing that's going on is you've got Destro and Cobra Commander trying to escape. They're thought dead, but they escape from the pit. And you've got Serpentor kind of changing tact with Cobra. He's obviously no Cobra Commander on the scene, and he's taking them down kind of a financial route. He wants to sell the Cobra Terror dromes to any military organisation around the world who wants to buy them, and the Joes try and put a man inside that Cobra Terror drome to get some intel.
Yeah, he's a businessman, Spencer.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
Yeah. Should we look at the covers?
Let's look at the covers.
54. We've got Flint parachuting.
Flint, it's a Mike Zeck cover. Flint is parachuting in. There's a fire bat swinging round to take a pot shot at him. I like it. Nice cover.
Yeah, I like it. I like it because I like Flint.
55. This is 3 masked characters on the front. Destro, Cobra Commander and Snake Eyes, all about to reveal themselves and lift their masks off. Another Mike Zeck cover.
Yeah, that's exciting.
You like that one?
Well, unmaskings.
Yeah. You don't actually see any of their faces in this, but...
No, but
it's a tempter. It's a real tease of a cover. It's like, ooh, what are we going to get here?
Yeah, at the time,
yes,
I think that would have been wet your pants time.
Yeah.
If you were reading that live.
Yeah.
Okay, what we got next?
We got another Mike Zeck. It's Mike Zeck and Kim DeMolder on this cover. I think it's the weakest of the 3. Still good. You got Roadblock, Scarlet, and I'm not sure who that is. And the front right, running away from a Cobra helicopter.
Yeah.
I'm not colours.
Not feeling that
great.
one.
I don't know. Not
Roadblock's drawn a bit funny. And the yearbook cover.
Oh yeah, the yearbook cover is good one. That's where Snake Eyes is strapped up in the brainwave scanner.
Yeah, just firing it up. Yeah, that's a good one.
And Scarlet and Snake Eyes, ninjas and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So, how are you feeling about this arc, Chief? I am thinking you were a big fan.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
I really like it.
You're back on board because we had those special missions which you weren't really feeling last time.
Yeah, I in hindsight, I've done a little bit of thinking about that, and I just don't think it's good to hammer out 3 back-to-back special missions.
Okay.
Because I think they'd feel more special and different if it was more like you do 3 and then do a special mission.
You want to try and pepper them in somehow?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think they read as well doing them like that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that would have changed. I don't think that would have changed my opinion.
Yep.
But yeah.
Okay.
Was there a reason? What was the reason we were doing 3 like that? Was there a
it was kind
story reason?
Yeah, it's kind of like because this one was 4.
Ah, yes, this was neat.
So we could have put these in, but it would have been a 5-issue review last show.
Yeah, heavy, too heavy. Too much.
Yeah, so what's your highlights on this arc? What do you like? What don't you like? What's your thoughts?
I guess I'm struggling not to talk about it straight away, but it's kind of like skip to the end. It's just we got another kind of silent interlude style issue.
Yeah, the
with
yearbook
with
one.
the yearbook. But I didn't even know that existed. I thought silent interlude was the only.
Okay.
I thought that was a complete kind of
unique
one-off.
Yeah.
Unique.
Yeah.
I assumed that other comic lines did it, but I didn't know we got another G.I. Joe version of it.
Yeah.
Is there even more to come? Are there other ones?
I don't think there's another one from Marvel. There might have been one that was part of a toy package buy-in.
I think
kind of
I
thing.
even preferred this to. I don't know if I prefer. Silent Interlude's is more of an iconic story,
Yep.
but the visuals and the art, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I kind of preferred it to Silent Interlude. I think it was. I don't know. It felt longer as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Serpentor, I'm okay on Serpentor. I don't think I love him like you do.
Right.
it's funny seeing him sort of so businesslike. He's got this building he's built in New York.
Yeah, this is where the Cobra consulate...
He's kind of effectively he wants to appear legit.
Yeah. I've written that down on my pad. I've put Serpentor legit ? So yeah, and
appear. I think that he's. Yeah. I mean, he's a scumbag.
Yeah, and like you say, they built this Cobra consulate, which plays a part in the Yearbook 3. But also, that's what they referenced in the end of that last special missions, where they said, "Let's take these black boxes to the Cobra consulate." So obviously, that issue came out after this. But and I like the fact you see. Close-ups of Serpentor with his kind of neatly cropped hair and his kind of fangs. He's got these fangs.
See, I'm not used to that at all. That's interesting, and he's very much he's a regular man. I don't know. For some reason, as a kid, I sort of tended to think that he was
a snake.
I don't
man.
know. Well, a little bit.
Yeah.
Certainly, never sort of saw him without his garb on.
Yeah.
What did you...
So these boys, they're in Sierra Gordo, aren't they? We've already seen Sierra Gordo a couple of times as a nation, and they're selling these Cobra Terradromes to some...
It's Trotter's independent trading. He's just selling them.
Yeah.
He's basically accepting any offer. I like it when he offers all that cash, the guy. And
it's got open briefcases.
Scrumpled 20s or something, isn't it?
No, non-sequential bills, I think.
Yeah.
But I think he does a reference where he says people still don't know our motives for selling these Terradromes.
There is. That actually comes a lot later with Mindbender kind of just sort of throwaway comment.
Yeah, but it's not revealed yet, is it?
And then he says it's a horrifying story or something. So, yeah. I don't know. The Terradrome visually is really iconic to me. It was used a lot in the cartoons.
Yeah.
But these Terradromes are effectively actually... They're geared towards air defence, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got the fire bats.
Because they launched the fire bat, which is this quick response thing.
That's it, exactly. And I'm still struggling on what the Joe's plan is. They want to get someone inside, so you're led to believe all throughout issue 54 that they're sending Flint in. Flint's in the back seat of the X-30 Conquest.
You are led to believe that, but why do they...
but it's actually not... Flint, obviously, it's Snake Eyes in disguise as Flint.
Yeah, but they do suggest that at the beginning, and then someone says, "Why don't we just send Snake Eyes?"
Oh, it's airtight. I think he's got crumpled up bits of paper playing basketball instead of an actual basketball because they're in some gymnasium somewhere. It's
downtime.
As their
and I'm
temporary base.
Well, why don't you just? Because they're like he could smash through that Terradrome.
Exactly. So why not just send Snake Eyes? B, they send in Snake Eyes dressed as Flint with the idea of him getting captured on purpose and getting into the Terradrome, or was he not supposed to get captured and sneak his way in? That
last bit's not clear. It's quite cool that the dogfight and everything.
If he was supposed to get captured, surely they knew they would find out he was Snake Eyes because they strap him into the brainwave scanner, don't they? And I wasn't really sure ultimately what the G.I. Joe plan was. Or how they thought it was going to be successful. Did they just want to get a look inside initially? Yeah,
because it feels like they've created a real shitstorm for themselves.
Because they then send in a rescue squad.
Exactly,
they got Joes helping the counter-revolutionaries who are at war with these dictators are in Sierra Gordo. But were they there just as advisors, or were they there also to rescue Snake Eyes, knowing that he'd need rescuing, or what? I don't know. It just wasn't explained.
Yeah, that bit was slightly unclear, and also it did feel like they've just made a real mess for themselves.
Yeah,
and then also it went sideways. Stalker gets properly banged up.
Well, so there's a little bit I like there. So they get Snake Eyes out. Stalker takes some shots in the chest, doesn't he? And he feels guilt because he left Snake Eyes behind back in Nam, and now he's saying we're not going to leave a man behind because we get Snake Eyes
he's
out.
being quite sort of he's
a bit melancholy.
Yeah, he is. And then shortly after he has those kind of little flashbacks, he gets tagged. That's right. And it's sort of you do actually think that he's going out, don't you? Really?
He's on a stretcher, and then Snake Eyes goes full bore, man. There's some great scenes of him double guns, just absolutely hooning it into these enemies.
Yeah, just before that, there's some real bad bedside manner from Leatherneck.
Yeah.
With Stalker.
Yeah.
He's basically saying, you're totally screwed. If we can get you somewhere, you might get a 50-50.
They're kind of developing this Leatherneck persona, aren't they? Of just being a grumpy, just he doesn't tolerate weakness. We saw him having digs at Lifeline in the last episode.
I guess he's new, so he doesn't really care about Stalker because there's no kind of love there. Yeah. Also, I thought it was setting it up for... That was really cool, that bit, just before Snake Eyes pops up and he's got low lights.
Oh, the sniper rifle.
Like
the night sight.
Yeah. And I was like, he's gonna sort of pick them off one by one.
That's why they tag him with darts.
Yeah, then I got a real surprise, and then he just stands up with both and just unloads. Yeah. And then they frag his ass.
Yeah, and then he gets captured again. So basically, he got captured, they rescued him, now he's back captured.
Yeah.
And then they fly him off in a Cobra helicopter, and that's where the Joes then disassemble a Terradrome and try and get it back to HQ. And it's a really convoluted plan. They basically build some sort of winch out of tree trunks and rocks.
There's a whole page on the winch.
Yeah, but that must have taken them at least half a day. They found an old single mono-track train, or a narrow-gauge train, and they're going to load all these big plates with a winch system, counter levers, to load it onto the back of this train. It's taken them ages.
That's just a decoy.
And that's just a decoy. They got a straw man dressed up in Flint's clothes, the driver cabin of the train to disguise it. Cobra comes in, shoots it up, blows the bridge up. The Joes won't get this back to base. Well, little did they know, they've slid it down a hill onto a river
down
raft.
A hill.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that bit really made me laugh. Yeah. I think Zaymot and Tomax and Zaymot, they're just goons. They're always there. They're not really doing anything. They
had a bit back at the in Springfield, back at the circus, didn't they? But apart from that, they're just kind of.
It feels
add-ons.
Like they've been put in charge of kind of the defense of Cobra.
Yeah,
and they're just bumbling idiots most of the time.
Yep.
The Dreadnoks have proven to be good light relief, though. They're kind of just
always after
around.
donuts and grape soda.
They're just always around, but always around like the really high kind of tier of Cobra.
Yeah, love it.
Funny.
There
is a lot of confusion in this arc, but it's all good fun.
You also get Cobra Commander kind of losing the plot. He's trapped under the pit.
He's in his vest.
Destro. He's in his vest with his plate on, and he's scrabbling away with his hands. He's losing the plot.
I do love that. I like the way that Destro's like, just, he's super together, and he's like, I just got to let him do this.
Let him vent. And then
he's
Destro
really
Destro finds like a G.I. Joe tunneling equipment thing. And they
get
get in it, and they come up in the middle of a shopping mall.
Yeah, it's like the thing from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Those some burrowing device. And one of my favourite bits is...
I knew you'd love this.
They go to like some 80s... it's like a strip mall and some outlet store, and they get hooked up in some good gear.
Yeah, that nice. That is a great kind of little mini plot there. Here, Cobra Commander and Destro in goon gear in the stolen car. But I like all the dialogue about explaining. Cobra Commander's like, we didn't steal it. The way to do it is you actually fill everything out properly and use different names. And then they get pulled over.
And he's got his driving license on him.
That's what I mean. He's like, don't worry.
It's all in my name. He had that driving license in his... He's
like, it's all legit.
In his outfit, yeah. Brilliant.
And then you get a big reveal.
Oh, the state trooper.
Copper recognises him.
Yeah, the state trooper,
even through all the garb.
And says, basically, there was an accident round here not so long ago. And there was a kid called Billy. And he's like, wait a minute, Billy, because he's presumed dead with the Softmaster and Candy.
Did they have to make it so... dark? What happened to him? It's like, he lost his arm, his leg.
Yeah.
It's like,
but like you say, big reveal. He's alive.
Yeah.
So then the big CC goes and meets up with Billy and says, "I wasn't a dad to you. I'm going to make everything right."
Yeah, Cobra Commander breaks down. Do you think it's because he was in such a bad way? He's feeling a bit sort of. He's rethinking his life.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
When he was trapped under there, he's tearing up.
Yeah. But good bits coming in the next arc is a good bit.
Where did we last? What was the last panel we saw of Billy? Was it the?
I think it was when Scrap
when he got blown up by the rocket.
Had shot that rocket.
Okay. Now who was he in the car with?
Candy, and the drunk driver, and the Softmaster had launched himself, and his Softmaster had taken the first rocket from Scrap Iron.
Okay, I was just wondering if we could be seeing anyone else pop up.
No.
Okay,
so let's just pick out a few bits from this silent issue. So first of all, those last 3 issues was Larry Hama, Rod Wiggum, Andy Mazinski, George Roussos and Joe Rosen. And you mentioned the art on this. It's called Hush Job. And it's actually Ron Wagner, who will have, after Rod Wiggum finishes on the main book, Ron Wagner will come on as artist. But this is his first Joe art appearance.
That is exciting.
So potentially that's why... the art. It's really good art here. Really good art here.
Dude, it's hyper detailed. It's very different.
Yeah, and basically, they know Snake Eyes has gone to the consulate, so Scarlet goes in, gets Storm Shadow, who was last seen in Snake Eyes' log cabin. Basically, recruits him and says, "We got to go and get he's our man. He's our dude. We've got to go and get him out."
Yeah, and he's well up for that.
And they sneak through the sewers, all good sewer action.
How cool
there.
is it with Storm Shadow? But he's on the train on the subway,
posing as an old man with a stick.
He slices off that guy's mohawk.
Yeah, love it. And he goes in through the sewer, doesn't he? There's a good bit where he kills some eels.
Yes,
stabs them up. Scarlet goes in posed as a cleaning lady.
Look, the art on Mindbender is the best we've ever seen him.
You think?
Oh, the tash.
That last page panel there where he's got his
musing.
Tash. He's musing. Oh, he looks evil. He's got a monocle. Yeah.
He's proper evil.
Red Ninjas are back. More good slicing dice.
Yeah, they're just
in
lurking
there.
around. Yeah, that's as he comes actually up into the building, isn't it? There on those lower levels.
Yeah. There's one
he
bit.
makes pretty quick work of them.
One bit that I didn't understand. Snake Eyes strapped up in the brainwave scanner, and on the image, so that you've got these banks of computers which visualises what his memory banks and his thoughts. And he's doing a Rashikage mindset kind of pose. And there's it says here, subject is in Zen trance, complete brain block in effect, alpha wave overload, and then suddenly all the computer screens blow up.
Well, don't you understand? He's mind flexing.
So yeah, but here's the power of it. The power of his mind blew up the computers. Just checking.
Yeah,
okay,
man.
Gotcha.
He's actually. He's just mind
He's
pulsed.
ghost in the shell, yeah.
And Mindbender just takes a truckload of screen glass and just gets peppered up real nice.
Yeah.
And it's hard. My Snake Eyes just can't catch a break in life. He kind of comes out, he's stumbling, and then he just gets rucked by 2 troopers.
And I'll tell you another bit I like. There's
look at them, they're going at him.
There's a bit where, kind of the next page, there's a big kind of cobra around a globe on a plinth, and they've got kind of like a fire pit. They've got a walkway over a pit of fire. It's kind of like the throne room.
Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm
That's
seeing
like
that.
Proper 80s villainry right there.
Yeah, that is. But you don't see too much of it. You don't get a wide of it.
No. But it's definitely a fire pit with a walkway across. Kind of like, I don't know, it reminds me of Flash Gordon's for some reason.
Yeah. I like the sort of Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes get into a bit of the old sort of synchronised ninjaing.
Yeah.
When they whack their swords down and do some kind of spring vault.
Yeah, love it.
And
then, wait a minute, you think here, suddenly the Baroness pops up behind them with a couple of Lugers, and or whatever they are, and she's walking them out, and then, wait a minute, Baroness is locked up in a store cupboard in her undies.
I know, risque, garter.
And out they go.
And it was Scarlet. Yeah, I mean, it's wild. I loved it.
Yeah.
So good. Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, when those boys are together, deadly.
Ah, it's a great combo. They're comrades and brothers, sword brothers.
Yeah. I need to know where this goes. I thought Storm Shadow was more Cobra for a lot longer.
Right.
But, yeah, this is great.
Now, I don't know if you've got this. We might have to pick this up in the next episode. But in the back of the yearbook, there's another little short story.
Oh, Mamma Mia Pizzeria?
My Dinner with Serpentor.
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
I got that. I read it.
Yeah? Should we do
I
that?
read
We'll
it.
rank that one. Okay, let's rank these ones first then. So this is 54, 55, 56, and Yearbook 3. What are you giving?
I think I liked it more than you did. I'm actually going to go a 9.
Wowzers.
Just good. Just a great romp. Didn't have to engage the brain box too much. I just kind of went with it. I know there was a few bits that didn't make too much sense, but I don't know. It hits my sweet spot, really.
Okay. I'm going to go low 8, I think.
There you go.
Maybe even a high 7.
What was your,
I think low
what was
8,
your
low
main
8.
issue? Was it just some of you actually just didn't enjoy how some of it wasn't explained or didn't make much sense?
No. It's an 8. That's really good for me. I know I have been marking high. I've done a lot of 9s lately. So if I compare that to the list, I don't know. No, I did enjoy it, and that silent issue. Yeah, you see, that silent issue probably could put it up to a 9.
That's where, because I finished off on that, and I was like, well, geez.
Yeah.
That deserves a 9. If that was a single issue, that's a 9, isn't it?
Yeah.
Easy.
So this one, this little, it's only like a 4 or 5 pager. My Dinner with Serpentor. This is actually Larry Hama scripting, obviously, but we've got Mike Zeck, who's been our cover artist for a long time on art, and some good interior art here. And this is on Cobra Island. Mindbender and Serpentor are about to have a meal. Dreadnoks pop up with some, there they are, with the high echelon, with some grape soda and donuts. And, frozen pizzas. And, Mindbender loses the plot.
Flipping out. He literally won't let it go. No. He blasts them about 4 times.
Yeah, you culinary Philistines.
And he's kind of expecting Serpentor to sort of jump on board. Yeah. But I was like, no. He's gonna be all right with this for some weird reason.
Yeah, he will.
I quite like the because Serpentor is a kind of amalgamation of all these different people that he has access to these deep memories.
Yeah. I remember a little incident at the Roman siege of Alesia during the Gaelic campaigns. It was the year 52 BC, by our present reckoning. And he's talking about all these soldiers, Roman soldiers, and the army marches on its stomach and all that kind of thing. And these dudes have got together some bread and olives, whatever, and basically put it on a stick and put it over a fire and made the first ever pizza.
Yeah, and Mindbender's still not. He's flipping out still.
Yeah.
When he comes back.
Yeah.
It was just a random memory.
Yeah.
It's a nice little touch.
What are you giving it?
I will give it a 7.
Yeah, I think same. I liked it. Nice little one.
Yeah, it's fine. You could almost keep doing those. I mean, you could almost like have a whole, just random Serpentor memories.
Well, right, so we are going to quickly jump back because I realised last week we didn't actually cover the special missions preview from issue 50 of the regular series, and I said we were going to cover that, so we'll cover this one now. It's called Best Defence. It is Larry Hama script, Herb Trimpe on art, Bob Sharon on colours, and Felix on letters.
But I like this. Okay. I enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah, this is good. I think this is the best. Well, that first issue of Special Missions was really good, the C one. But I think this is probably either equal or the best for me. I really liked it.
But what is this though? It's not actually an issue. It's just an add-on, isn't it?
Well,
it's like a.
I thought it was just like a 10-pager, but I think in actual fact it's 18 pages, so it's almost a full.
So it basically is a full
22
issue.
Is a full one, so it's pretty much a full one. So what's happening here? Basically, I like this one where they just cut straight in, cold open, straight in. There's a hijacked plane with some US Air Force fighters around it, kind of giving it an escort. Turns out you've got some hostage takers, some terrorists on the plane, and they want to. They want to ransom off the passengers for whatever it is they want. But that turns out to be a little twist because originally Lady J calls out, they call themselves the Leon Trotsky Brigade of the 4th International, and they're looking to exact revenge upon the heirs of the murderer Stalin. So it's like 40 years old, and Beachhead's there giving you a bit of history lesson as well.
Yeah, because Beachhead doesn't really get an intro, does he? He's just there.
Yeah,
and I was like, we got Beachhead.
Yeah.
He's on the plane, isn't he?
Dave Keir, the terrorists have killed the crew, and they've taken the place of the crew. Well, he's not on the plane at the beginning. Later on, it turns out that you find out that what they actually want to do is fly the plane. It's a suicide mission. They're going to fly the plane and blow up some nerve toxin place and spread the nerve toxin around.
I really like the art in this issue. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, Herb Trimpe is really good.
All the stuff on the plane is brilliant.
Yeah, some great scenes with
when they're sort of coming in through.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Beachhead's coming up through a hatch, and he's got a knife between his teeth.
He's badass. You got Flint doing similar. Lady J's pops up.
Lady J pops up.
It's very serious, and it's very kind of.
There's a ground assault.
Cinematic.
There's a ground assault going on as well, led by Stalker and Hawk. And they bust into where some other members of this Leon Trotsky 4th International dudes are. And Stalker basically, there's some big bird on a machine gun. Hawk says, "Stalker, Fatso with a machine gun is yours." And then he zaps her with a taser. "Heads up, Tubby."
Jeez.
That's a great scene, that.
Step right in, lard bucket.
They're laying it on to the big lady.
Yeah,
it's a bit brutal though as well, because just as the planes come down for refueling, that's when Beachhead, Lady J, and Flint sneak in through the the undercarriage where the wheels go,
Yeah.
And one of the terrorists, one of the stewardesses on board, is giving him some lip, and he basically shoots her point blank in the head. She spat in his face, and he's just, do I have to do everything? It's like blam, and then just dumped her body out the door. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. There's a great panel where Beachhead is kind of underneath the seat.
Yes.
As the guy is leaning down. It's very cinematic.
Yeah.
Straight from a film.
They got the junior chess team on board.
Yeah, and he's lost
his pieces have fallen on the floor. Yeah, this would be a great little TV episode.
That's what I mean. You could really see it, couldn't you, like that? And then
basically
look at Beachhead, like just in the fetal position.
Yeah.
It's like you're basically waiting for them to make their move, aren't you?
Yeah. Well,
it's quite a tension builder.
It all goes off. They got a guy strapped with C4 explosives. They're on a suicide mission.
Look at Flint like drilling through.
It all goes off when basically Beachhead pops out, kicks this bird in the gut, and then Lady J fires a taser at the guy with the bomb. And
he hits it.
He's got. And then they basically chuck him out the door, don't they? Sorry. She puts a satchel charge on the window, blows the door off, chucks this terrorist or the bomb strapped to him out the window. He goes off, and then Flint has unloaded on some dude with his double-barrel shotgun through the door.
It's pretty cool, and then, it cuts to an external shot, and the planes all over the place. Yep. It's like, it's very cool.
Yeah, I like this one. I think art was good. It was serious in tone. Perhaps. I know what you're saying as the previous special missions, that the one that I liked, but I think it was called Words of Honor or something like that. But it was a bit convoluted. Two different. That was similar. There was the Argentina guys. There was the guys in Greenland. But it was a little bit complex and twisty. Whereas this is Joe's in two different locations, but it was kind of straight ahead.
Oh yeah,
but very action based.
It was just a really tense, very cinematic, serious kind of story. Basically, something you could actually imagine that they would be used for.
Yep.
If you know what I mean.
What are you giving this one?
I'll give it a 8.
Yep. Same. It's good. I like it. Next week we will.
Yeah, what have we got coming up?
I've had a look through, and I think we can probably do 57, 58, 59, and 60. So a straight run.
Whoa! I am pumped.
That's possibly. I need to double check this because I haven't actually reread them yet. But I think that's 57 as a standalone. 58 and 59 is kind of a two-parter. And then 60 is another standalone. I think we're also going to have an awards show as well.
Cool.
To catch up on years 85 and 86. Wait a minute. I hear something. Do you hear that? Chief asked Ben a question. Chief asked Ben a question. What'll he say? What'll he do when Chief asked Ben a question? Video game control pads. What's your top 3 or top 2?
Funny you should mention that because someone was giving the N64 a load of stick because they just thought it was ridiculous. I saw someone on Instagram had put that sort of the evolution of Nintendo controllers, and they were like NES, pretty good, but obviously refined with the SNES, a bit more curved. And then it was like, it doesn't make any sense where they went after that.
They went straight to the N64.
I was a big fan.
Yeah, I like it. That NES one, so I'm hooking up, like I say, I'm hooking up my game systems here. And that NES one, it's just too small. And
definitely. They didn't know what they were doing.
The SNES one is a little bit small compared to its compatriot over the other side. The Mega Drive pad was just that tiny bit bigger.
Yeah, I would say the thing is with those pads, you're not really holding them in your hands. You're more holding them in your fingers.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you actually put your whole kind of hand around them.
Well, when the Xbox came out, that has
Big Bertha.
I really like that controller.
That was so big.
It's really, really good and chunky, and it feels really nice in your hands. But apparently,
they retconned that pretty soon.
Apparently,
didn't they
released like a Xbox S controller specifically for Japan because they got smaller hands. I don't know if that's an urban myth or not.
That became, so we used to call it Big Bertha, but they got rid of that after about a year.
Did they? Because I've still got
brought out a smaller version.
Yeah, it's like they did bring out a smaller version.
That was massive. Dreamcast controller gets a lot of stick.
Dreamcast controller, I would say not the best, but it's not okay. And I like that it's got 2 slots in it, one for a rumble pack, and I've got on mine. I don't know if it still works. It's got a little mini LCD display, so it's kind of like a forerunner for almost the Wii U, which is a big gamepad with a screen. And
how do you feel
it's almost like a tiny little Game Boy.
Oh, okay. How do you feel about the kind of evolution of the Sony ones? I don't know what they call that, but it's kind of stayed pretty much the same through the PS1, 2, 3, 4.
I think all they've done is added more buttons, haven't they?
It's
more
a bit
triggers.
chunkier, but
added more triggers.
I quite like it. It's very different to any other consoles. That
Yep.
I don't know. That we just bought a Nintendo Switch Pro pad.
Okay.
But it feels very generic, really.
Yeah.
My favourite aesthetically to look at is N64.
Yeah.
Favourite to play with, I'm gonna say the PS4 one.
Okay.
The latest one.
Yep.
Oh, Mega Drive, Master System. Oh, Mega
Master
Drive's
System
great.
was kind of just a riff on the NES one, wasn't it? Not great.
Mega Drive, unfortunately, was great, but it was the worst controller in terms of you had to sort of do maintenance on it. I mean, with the SNES controller, you don't have to touch that thing. The buttons just work forever.
Yeah, and the other problem...
Mega Drive had issues with direction. The D-pads would go, the buttons would go in terms of you have to push them really hard.
The other problem I had with the Mega Drive pad
Bad
was
build quality.
only 3 buttons. You had A, B, C.
Yeah, until they released Street Fighter.
Whereas obviously the SNES one had the 4, the X, Y, the A, B. I don't know why
And
why
the
those
2
4 letters.
flippers.
I'm not sure. And then obviously the 2 triggers. So it had 6 as default. So, Street Fighter. Well, I don't know if they made... That's an interesting point, actually. Did they make that pad and release it with the SNES for Street Fighter 2? Or was...
For the Mega Drive, you mean?
No,
Yeah.
the SNES pad. When the SNES came out...
Oh, no, it was always that pad.
Yeah, but did they make it that pad for Street Fighter? Did Street Fighter come out as a launch title? No, it didn't, did it?
No, it definitely
Okay.
didn't.
So
But
they
I
already
think-
had the 6 buttons, and then
Yeah.
when Street Fighter came out, it just married into that. Okay. But then,
Yeah,
they did release a Mega Drive pad with 6 buttons, didn't they?
Yeah, they had to. Because otherwise Street Fighter wouldn't work.
Yeah. No, but you could play it by hitting select
Oh,
to switch from punch to kick if you only had the 3-button pad.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, crazy times.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to fire up the Mega Drive and maybe play Strider or eSWAT today.
Good game. Strider's good game.
Yeah.
Visually stunning. eSWAT, do you know what? Actually not as good as I remember.
Really?
When I got into retro gaming, that was for some reason, that was one of the first titles I got.
Oh, it's amazing. It's one of my favourite games ever. You're saying it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
hold
a
up?
good yeah, but it's no, it definitely doesn't hold up at all. It's nowhere near as good as something like Super Probotector or Contra.
Okay.
No, I mean it's like nowhere near as good. If you want a kind of walk along shooter, Probotector is like streets ahead. Do you remember that on the
Interesting.
SNES?
Yeah, I've got it. I think.
I mean,
Actually,
that
no,
is
I've got it on the
more...
SNES Mini. I don't have
Like,
it as an original SNES game.
eSWAT is it's very basic
Okay.
compared to
Right, that's my mission. I'm going to
something
play
like
that today. And
It's still enjoyable. It's still
give you an update
enjoyable, but
next
it's just very simple, very like low spec design, simple. Yeah.
The other thing I've noticed I've got a handful of Xbox One games down here, and the Xbox I don't even know where it is, and I don't really want to have to fire up the Xbox.
Didn't get
so
on
I'm
with
just
that console.
checking if
that
these
well.
games are backwards compatible on the 360 because not every single game was.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
just checking that out.
Do you own an Xbox One?
I've got an Xbox One. I don't know where it is, and I remember the last time I did play it, which would have been, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. I remember it being very, very loud.
Yeah, modern consoles do tend to be
So if
noisy.
I can use the 360 instead, then all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I never really got on well with the Xbox. I mean, it launched Halo. That was good.
Yeah, I bought it on
But,
launch day. I remember with I think I paid like 350 quid for it. I think.
Are they still making Halo games?
Think
I feel
so.
like they
I'm
just
out of touch.
stopped at 3.
I never made the leap from Xbox 360 to Xbox One.
Halo 2 was incredible. I remember thinking that was a real moment in gaming.
I've got it here. I've got it in front of me.
I
Let me
never
bend
did.
down. I've got it here in front of me. I'm looking at it. Halo 2. It's got Master Chief on the front with a as he would be with a red background, online enabled, only on Xbox.
Yeah. Did you play it? Did you complete it?
It's the only Halo. So basically, I've got Halo, Halo 2, and then I'm looking at the over there, and then it went to 360. I've got Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach, and I think is that Halo 4 there? I think that's where I stopped, and I completed them all on Legendary, but Halo 2 is the only one I can't do on Legendary.
Too hard. Where'd you get to? Ouch.
I can't remember, but that's what I'm going to do.
They are proper hard.
Basically, that's my new mission is. I've got all these Halo ones. Then I'm looking at the Mass Effect. I'm looking at the Gears of War, and then Resident Evils for GameCube. And I'm going to do all these old games, play them all start to finish.
Oh, nice. Do you think Halo on Legendary is harder than 00 on GoldenEye?
Well, no, I'd say 007 on GoldenEye I think was harder.
A beast.
It took me 1 year to complete 007 mode on GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And it took me less time to do Halo on Legendary. Maybe that's because when GoldenEye came out, I was younger, and maybe I wasn't as good a gamer. I don't know. Do reflexes get better or worse?
No, well, my bugbear with GoldenEye is that, yes, generically it is hard on 00, but I felt like some of the levels, there was just chance involved.
No, I agree with
whether
that.
you did it so train, I just felt like you flip a coin. If you made that
on
that's
00, the one where you start at the back of the train, you've got to go through.
The time
and it's a timer,
limit
yes.
is insane.
Yeah.
And when you do it, it doesn't really make any sense. Why that time?
No.
You've got to get your wristwatch out and go through the hatch.
Oh, yes.
And, it takes so long to get there. I just remember that took, I'd actually say months. That
is one of those levels which is controller through the window, or,
for sure.
I used to go through a lot of controllers on Mega Drive games and NES and N60. Not so much N64 because they're expensive, but Mega Drive and SNES, because they were quite cheapish to buy controllers, I would quite often get the controller, unplug it,
happily
grab it by the end of the lead, and just swing it multiple times into the wall till it smashed.
Yeah. No, you were like that. You were quite bad with other people's controllers.
Really?
I remember me and Gav, you'd get it and you'd sort of dig it down a couple of times. Ding, ding, ding. Like, whoa,
he's up.
Dude,
I remember
he's up on the pads.
I remember there was a shop there was a chain called Game Station, and they got taken out by Game. And they used to sell a lot of old retro games quite cheap, and there was a big collection of Sega Saturn games for 99p. And quite often I had like 6 copies of Sega Rally because they were all 99p. And if for some reason I was on a super timed lap and it didn't go well, I'd just open up one of these copies and just snap the disc.
Oh my God.
Not even the one that was in the Saturn that I was playing, just take one off the shelf.
Just so you're snapping something.
Yeah. Something related to the game I was playing, yeah.
You were a savagely bad loser. I remember your big thing was to say fault in the program a lot.
Yeah.
That was your big thing.
Fault in the program. If it didn't go well,
if it was EA Hockey, you were basically scared to beat Chief because either your pads would get done in, or he just keeps saying fault in the program.
Yeah, or pixelation problem right there.
That stupid shimmy tactic you and Gav use on EA Hockey, which you could only really do with the players that played for your team. The Detroit Red Wings, they just weren't like that.
No.
I couldn't do it.
It was a one-on-one with the keeper.
The shimmy.
Yeah,
so you shimmy left, shimmy right, and that's when you slap it home.
Yeah.
It's just cheating. Oh, man.
I'd like to play. I'd like to come round to your gaff and we'll hook up EA 94.
Yeah, it's a shame that you can't just, be able to play that online, isn't it?
Yeah.
But still have it Mega Drive. I don't really like the
emulators. You don't like?
Is that what they call them? Yeah. It's just something you have to have the pad to get the full experience of playing the retro game. Yeah. It's just not really the same, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you need. What have you got in your loft? 2 CRT. What have you got TV wise?
No,
are they like flat screens?
Yeah,
or?
they are. It's an really old Panasonic Viera, which has got SCART. I think the other one.
That's a big thing, isn't it? SCART. They need SCART.
Yeah, they need SCART. I've got an old, I don't know how big that is. Small, mini Toshiba.
The good thing is TVs have never been. You could just go on Gumtree and just go out and get 3 for free.
Yeah, I don't want to put too much weight in the loft. That's what I'm saying. So I don't really want too many CRTs up here.
They are big.
Yeah. And I don't even know if I'd get it up. I'm looking at the loft hatch. Yeah, I don't even know if I'd get a big one.
Oh, you're talking about a 24-inch, not like the little one. Okay.
Oh, you've got what have you got? You got a little kind of 16-inch.
I got a little one. It was just free, just on someone's drive.
And that's what you play your Mega Drive on or your SNES.
That's what I've got everything hooked up to.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also actually at the time I was like, I don't really want a VHS integral to it, but it's actually quite fun. Okay. So it's got a VHS at the bottom. So I've actually started collecting VHS again.
Oh, it's one of the built-in VHS TV.
Like real 90s.
Yeah, like it.
Real 90s. Anyway.
Okay, we've been chatting long here about video games. You're not into video games, and tough luck.
Jog on.
Joggon.com. You can find us in all the usual places. Talking_Joe on the Twitter. Talking Joe Comics on Instagram. Talking Joe Comics at gmail.com. Talking Joe, G.I. Joe Podcast on the Facebook. Like I say, we will have an awards show next week, along with those 4 issues that we discussed that we're going to do. Send us in some... Well, actually, I'll put out some tweets and some Instagram messages. You know, people can give us... I'll tell you what issues we're covering. People can give us some suggestions for new awards categories. As always, rate and review us if you like it. It helps us bump us up the charts, the funky iTunes algorithms. We need to feed that beast. So, yeah, have a good week, and we will see you down the line.
See you there, buddy.